What if I told you the key to a successful, stress-free retirement isn't about how much that you've saved? It's about how you turn what you've saved into income that you could never outlive. That's what we're here to talk about today. My name is Josh Morin. I am the founder of Infinite Financial Solutions. And in this video, I'm going to introduce you to a powerful concept. Most financial professionals do one or two things. They either overlook it or they overcomplicate the entire thing. And it's called retirement income planning. And today we're going to explore how annuities, yes, annuities, the big A word, can be used properly. Then they can solve some of the biggest risks you'll face in retirement. This is part one of a three-part series that we will walk you through how annuities work, who they work for, and how to structure them into a rock solid retirement plan that gives you a few things. Number one, be control, certainty, and ultimately the peace of mind that you deserve, especially in your golden years. So let's get this thing started. Let's be honest here for a second. For years, the financial industry has trained people to believe that retirement success is only about one thing, and that's the size of their nest egg. You got to grow your nest egg. We got to get it more aggressive so you have more money. Yes, that's definitely true, but let me ask you this. What does a $1 million 401k actually mean when the market drops 20, 30% and more even? What happens when interest rates stay low for a decade? And what happens if you live to be 95 or 100? I know people that are living to 105 and beyond. You see, it's not about how much that you have. It's about how much reliable income that you can generate from what you have. And that's where most people are unprepared, because when you retire, your paycheck stops. And now you're responsible for creating your own income for the rest of your life. No matter what the markets are doing, no matter what interests are doing, or what the economy decides to do. Now, that's going to be a massive shift for most people. You're so used to having this steady income and getting paychecks every couple of weeks or once a month or whatever that looks like for you, but you're moving from the accumulation phase of your portfolio planning to the distribution or decumulation phase. And that's where most people run into trouble. And there's a lot of troubles that lie, and there's a lot of risks that happen in the decumulation phase. And here's how we mitigate some of those risks with annuities. So this is the mindset shift that I want you to adopt right now. Retirement is not only about assets. Retirement is ultimately about income. If you're like most people, your income during your working years was predictable. You got paid every couple of weeks, once a month, and you're able to budget around it. You made life decisions based upon it. It was predictable. It was something that you could look forward to, and it was consistent for the most part. Now imagine if you retired and you knew with absolute certainty that money would still hit your bank account every month for the rest of your life, no matter what. Oh, that sounds like such peace of mind. Most retirees, their number one concern and fear is not actually death, it's outliving their retirement funds. And I could see why, with rising costs, economy, inflation, all of those things. So that's what we call guaranteed lifetime income. And we need guaranteed lifetime income, and that's what annuities are designed uniquely to do and to provide. Now let's break down some of the risks that are going to be associated with retirement by breaking down the 5 biggest risks that you will face. Number one, and most overlooked, is longevity risk. And it's going to be the most dangerous. Now, if you live longer than you expect, you give yourself more time to run out of money and more time for other risks to compound. Living a life is a blessing, but financially it multiplies every challenge that you face. So if you live to be 100, 105, 110, and so on, you want to ensure that those paychecks are going to be steady, that you have predictable income, and that's what annuities will be able to provide and mitigate against. Number two is market risk. If your income is tied to investments and the market crashes, especially early retirement, it can permanently reduce the amount of income that you can safely take out. Now, this is known as sequence of returns risk. In retirement, the order in which you experience gains and losses matters a lot more than you might think. Number three is withdrawal rate risk. Let me ask you this question. What percentage of your portfolio do you feel that you can safely withdraw each year in retirement? They just did an audit, and the common answer is 7 to 10%. Now, using that rule, people would run out of money way before they died. Now, the old 4% rule is something that's been used in financial terminologies for a long time, and now it's been under pressure because of a lot of economic influences. Many experts suggest that it's more closer to 3 or even less, 2.4 actually. So, but if you're drawing income during a down market, even that might not be sustainable. So you possess the risk where if the market's down and then you're drawing down your accounts, it's called the drawdown effect. So let's just say you pull out 5% or a couple percentage points more than you should be, and then the market's ultimately down. Now you're double downing on the drawdown, which ultimately could deplete those funds. Number 4 risk will be inflation risk. Obviously, I don't have to to talk about this much. I feel like I walk outside and I have to spend $100 to, I don't know, whoever owns the air. But even if your expenses feel manageable now, just imagine what they're going to look like in 15 or 20 years into retirement. Yes, I understand a lot of those large debts, expenses will be paid off, but healthcare costs, groceries, travel, they all get more expensive over time. And you want to be able to live your golden years the way that you deserve to live them. So your plan must account for purchasing power in the future, not just for today. So we're talking decades. Now, you're not going to die in 10 years. If you look at the math, there's a high percentage of people who are going to be living in their 80s and 90s, which brings up the fifth risk, which is health and long term care risk. A major health event or the need for long term care can drain your savings quickly. And most people don't actually plan for this, and it could create devastating financial consequences late in life. There's a high probability that you and or your spouse later in life during retirement is going to find yourself in some form of assisted living home, long-term care facility, or receiving care from some form of nurse. And you have to ensure that you're planning for these types of situations. So let's talk about solutions to all of these risks and problems. Annuities are the only financial product on the market designed to specifically create guaranteed lifetime income no matter how you live. Hold on. Let me say that one more time. Let me say that again. Annuities are the only private sector financial vehicle that can guaranteed income for life. Now, they are not investments. They're not investment products because we're now moving into the fixed side of your portfolio. We're also exercising glide path, meaning we're moving some of your investments or a portion of your investments away from things that are going to be variable. More now you're moving into more conservative things. Annuities are contracts with an insurance company, and they come with very specific promises. Now, the reason that they fall under the insurance umbrella is they come with the big G word, which is guaranteed. And that's why if you're an agent watching this, you're able to actually sell life insurance and annuity products because it falls under the insurance umbrella. So here are some of the promises that you'll be able to capitalize on with an annuity contract. Number one is that you'll never outlive your income. Man, what a peace of mind that would be to never have to outlive your income or worry about outliving your income. Number two is that your principal can be protected from market loss. Obviously, variable annuities are the only annuity that where you could lose, and we'll talk about that later. The third thing would be is you'll know exactly how much income to expect and why. So that's a predictability factor that you can plan around, which is incredibly important. And in some cases, some of these annuity products even offer inflation protection with market value adjustments, long-term care enhancements and riders, or spousal continuation options that we baked into the contract. So this means that your basic expenses like housing, groceries, healthcare, transportation can be covered by income that doesn't change based on interest rates, market conditions, or the performance of your portfolio. So this ultimately gives you the freedom to use your other assets, the other assets you have, because this is going to be a portion of your assets, and you're going to use that for growth, legacy, lifestyle, without worrying about whether the lights will stay on or not. Once again, peace of mind. That's going to be the echoing theme as you watch this video is annuities provide peace of mind for retirees. Here's something most people and frankly most advisors don't understand. When you use an annuity to generate lifetime income, you're not just getting interest. You're also getting benefit from something called mortality credits. So here's what that means. In a lifetime income annuity, you're part of a pool of people who contribute premium. Some of those people will pass away early, others will live longer than expected. When someone passes away early, the income they would have received gets redistributed to those who are still living. So that's how insurance companies are able to pay more income than some traditional portfolio plan products that can safely generate guarantees. Now, this is what makes annuities so unique is you don't get this from stocks, you don't get this from bonds, you don't get this from mutual funds or CDs. It's built into the structure and into the plan, and it allows you to get more income with less risk than almost any other retirement strategy. At Infinite Financial Solutions, we use a simple framework to structure retirement income. Now, I didn't come up with this myself, and I'm definitely not going to take credit for it. The late, great Tom Hagna, he's been a pioneer of annuities and the proposal behind this, which he authored the book Paychecks and Playchecks. If you're an agent and or if you're a client watching this video, I highly suggest delving into this book to be able to learn more about how annuities can benefit and offer some retirement solutions to yourself. Step one is going to be cover your essential expenses with guaranteed lifetime income. So this includes Social Security, pensions if you have them from prior jobs, and lifetime income from annuities. These are what you would call your paychecks. This is going to be money that you know is going to be coming in every single month. So these paychecks are going to cover your basic life expenses, They're going to be on top of your Social Security benefits, etc. Step number two, now use the rest of your assets for fun and flexibility growth. It's your golden years. Come on. If you got to enjoy them, you deserve it. You don't want to be stressed. You want to create what are considered your Playchecks. This could be your investment accounts, your brokerage assets, Roths, and other tools that give you more upside. These are going to be a little bit more aggressive and not as conservative as annuity products, but they aren't needed to pay your bills. So essentially, it's like playing on house money. It's a good feeling when you go to Las Vegas, you win a bet or two bets, or you get some credits. You get some credits from the hotel because you're a verified member, and they give you some house money for gambling. So you're not having to use these funds to pay your bills. Now that's the beauty of a properly structured plan. You get two things. Number one is certainty, which everybody loves, especially when you move into the later half of your life, is you want certainty and clarity. And number two is going to be freedom. Now, before you move to the next video, I want you to step back and apply what we just covered, not from the client's perspective, but from yours as an advisor. This is where your role as a strategist becomes critical. Here are a few things to focus on. Number one is start thinking in terms of income, not accumulation. When reviewing a client's assets, don't just look at the balance sheet. Ask yourself, how much of this can be converted into predictable, guaranteed income? Let me say that again. How much of this can be converted into predictable, guaranteed income? Your job isn't just to grow somebody's assets, it's to structure sustainable retirement income. You have to understand whereabouts in the portfolio planning process that your client is. Are they part of the accumulation phase? Are they part of the protection phase? Are they part of the decumulation phase? And then are they part of the wealth transfer phase? Which portion of their portfolio planning can an annuity fit in? And is it just to grow their assets, or is it to create structural sustainable retirement income? Categorize their expenses, paychecks versus playchecks. Before any product conversation begins, help your client break their lifestyle into two categories. Number one is going to be paychecks. What do they need each month to live with dignity? What's the amount of money they're going to require to be able to live with dignity? Number two is playchecks. What do they want to enjoy in retirement with purpose? Once you define those numbers, it becomes crystal clear how much guaranteed income is required and where annuities can fit in. Number three is audit their current income sources. You're going to have to ask these questions. Do they have a pension? Is there a pension plan or other sources of income? What's their estimated Social Security income? Are there any rental properties or business income streams? Which portion of the retirement is exposed to market risk? Your job is to identify the gap and show them how to fill this with certainty. Number four, focus on protecting income first, then growing the rest. Okay. You don't want to go backwards here. You want to go forward. So when you lead with guaranteed income, not just rates of return, you help the client sleep better at night. That's ultimately what we're providing here with an annuity, is peace of mind. And peace of mind is absolutely priceless. You want to reduce the sequence of returns risk, and you want to give them permission to spend confidently in the retirement years. Number five, your ultimate goal is to be the translator, not the salesman. I'm not much of a salesman myself. I'm more of an educator and translator, but this is where most agents go wrong. Annuities are not a product to pitch. They're a solution to structure. Your job is going to be to educate, simplify, guide, and if the client truly understands the risks and see how annuities can solve them, they'll often ask to move forward. In the next video, we're going to break down each type of annuity, how they work, how to position them, and how to match the right product to the client's income timeline and funding sources. Stick with me. We're just getting started.